Picture this scenario. You're sitting in your room right now, but across countless dimensions, infinite versions of you are living completely different lives. One version of you might be an astronaut exploring distant galaxies. Another might never have been born at all. Sounds like science fiction, right? But thousands of years ago, ancient Hindu texts described exactly this concept with mathematical precision that makes modern physicists wonder if we're missing something huge. Today, scientists estimate there are approximately 8.7 million species on our planet. They've catalogued only about 1.3 million so far, discovering roughly 15,000 new species every year. But here's something that might make you question everything you thought you knew about ancient civilizations. The Padma Purana, written around 5,000 years ago, states Earth hosts exactly 8.4 million different species of life. Think about that for a moment. 5,000 years ago, without any modern scientific equipment, ancient sages calculated a number that modern science is only now approaching. But wait, there's more to this story that will completely change how you see our ancestors. The same text breaks down these species into precise categories. Water-based life forms account for 900,000 species. Plants and trees make up 2 million species. Insects and small creatures total 1.1 million. Birds represent 1 million. Terrestrial animals comprise 3 million. And human-like species, including humans, account for 400,000 different forms. You know, modern biologists are still discovering species that fit exactly into these ancient classifications. But here's where things get really interesting. The Garuda Purana, which is one of the 18 major Hindu texts, doesn't just talk about life on Earth. It actually describes what reads like a cosmic blueprint. Yeah, infinite universes, each operating under its own laws, containing countless forms of life across multiple dimensions. Now, you might be thinking, come on, these are just religious stories, but consider this for a second. The same ancient texts that accurately predicted Earth's biodiversity also described concepts that sound eerily similar to what quantum physicists today call the multiverse theory. So modern scientists, they actually theorize that our universe might be just one of countless others, each with different physical laws. Interestingly, the Hindu texts describe infinite Brahmandas, literally meaning infinite universes, where different types of beings exist across various dimensional planes. And well, each universe supposedly has its own Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, who govern creation, preservation, and destruction. The mathematical precision gets even more extraordinary when we take a look at the Surya Siddhanta, which is this ancient astronomical text. This document calculated Earth's diameter as 1,600 yojanas, which comes out to approximately 8,000 miles. Now, if you compare that to modern measurements, Earth's diameter is actually 7,928 miles. That's like 99% accuracy using methods we still don't fully understand. The same text, interestingly enough, calculated the moon's diameter as 2,400 miles, compared to the actual 2,160 miles. And when it comes to planetary distances and sizes, the accuracy is, honestly, consistently remarkable. For example, Mercury's diameter was estimated at 3,008 miles, which is less than 1% error from the currently accepted 3,032 miles. But perhaps the most intriguing aspect involves parallel realities. Ancient Hindu texts describe 14 distinct lokas, or dimensional realms that make up cosmic structure. These aren't just spiritual concepts. They're described as actual planes of existence where different types of consciousness and life forms exist simultaneously. The Yoga Vasistha tells a story about Queen Leela, who discovers her husband living in different dimensions with completely different life experiences. This narrative perfectly describes what modern quantum physicists theorize about parallel universes where different versions of people exist based on different quantum choices. But how did ancient civilizations acquire such sophisticated understanding without modern instruments? Some researchers suggest these texts contain knowledge that transcends what we currently understand about human capability and cosmic awareness. So the Bhagavata Purana describes this fascinating scene where Lord Krishna actually shows Brahma infinite universes. Each of these universes has its own creator, and they're all existing in parallel realities. And when Brahma starts to doubt Krishna's power, Krishna then reveals countless other Brahmas, some with 10 heads, some with hundreds, and even some with thousands, all governing their own cosmic domains. It's honestly mind-boggling. Modern cosmologists, are just beginning to grapple with some pretty similar concepts. The multiverse theory, for example, suggests that infinite universes exist simultaneously. Each one could potentially have different versions of reality, different physical laws, and even different forms of consciousness. It's a wild idea, but it really echoes those ancient stories. Hindu cosmology, interestingly, describes cosmic cycles where universes go through endless births and deaths. This cyclical view actually aligns quite remarkably with some contemporary theories about cosmic inflation and how universes form, and the idea that consciousness plays a fundamental role in shaping reality, something that's central to Hindu philosophy. Well, it really resonates with quantum mechanics interpretations that suggest observation can actually affect particle behavior. Think about the implications. If ancient sages possessed knowledge of multiple dimensions and parallel universes, what other scientific principles might be encoded in their texts, just waiting to be decoded? Could concepts like interdimensional travel, consciousness-based reality manipulation, or communication across parallel planes actually have ancient precedents? The story gets even more compelling when you consider that these texts describe beings traveling between worlds and communicating across dimensional boundaries. Today, we search for extraterrestrial life by scanning radio signals from distant stars. But ancient Hindu texts describe a universe already teeming with diverse life forms across multiple dimensional planes. Modern string theory requires additional spatial dimensions beyond our familiar three. Hindu cosmology describes 14 lokas arranged across different planes of existence. The mathematical structure of these ancient descriptions sometimes mirrors theoretical physics frameworks that scientists use today to understand reality's deepest levels. If you find these connections between ancient wisdom and modern science as compelling as I do, hit that like button because we're approaching something even more extraordinary. Recent research institutions worldwide are beginning to seriously examine whether ancient texts contain advanced scientific knowledge. Universities are establishing interdisciplinary programs combining archaeology, linguistics, and theoretical physics to decode these ancient blueprints for reality. The mathematical precision alone demands attention. When ancient calculations match modern measurements with such accuracy, we can't dismiss them as coincidental. These texts represent sophisticated observation and calculation systems that produced results comparable to our most advanced scientific instruments. Carl Sagan, who brought us the television series Cosmos, was deeply interested in Hindu cosmology because of its sophisticated understanding of cosmic timescales and universal structure. Hindu texts describe timescales that dwarf most other ancient cosmologies, suggesting an understanding of cosmic ages that approaches modern astronomical thinking. The convergence of ancient wisdom and modern science might represent the next phase of human understanding. Instead of viewing scientific progress as purely linear, we might need to consider that advanced knowledge sometimes moves in cycles, with sophisticated understanding encoded in traditional texts waiting for rediscovery. Consider how this affects your personal worldview. Understanding that ancient civilizations possessed advanced cosmic knowledge should inspire us to approach traditional wisdom with greater scientific curiosity. Instead of dismissing ancient texts as primitive mythology, we might discover they contain keys to scientific breakthroughs we desperately need. The evidence continues mounting. Each new translation of ancient texts reveals additional scientific concepts waiting to be understood. Each breakthrough in modern physics finds unexpected parallels in traditional cosmology. We're witnessing the emergence of a new scientific approach that honors both ancient wisdom and modern investigation. The connection between ancient Hindu cosmology and modern physics offers hope for accelerated human progress. By combining traditional knowledge with contemporary research methods, we might solve scientific puzzles that have challenged us for decades. The ancient promise of multiple worlds and infinite realities might soon become scientific fact. And as we decode more of this ancient scientific knowledge, we might actually find solutions to current challenges in energy, space exploration, consciousness studies, and dimensional physics. These aren't coincidences or mythological stories. They represent systematic observation and calculation that produced results matching our most advanced scientific measurements. The evidence suggests ancient sages possessed investigation methods that enabled them to perceive cosmic truths that we're only now beginning to appreciate through modern scientific instruments. The journey continues. Each discovery brings us closer to understanding that human consciousness might have always been capable of perceiving universal truths that transcend cultural and temporal limitations. The same cosmic principles that ancient sages described are what our most advanced physicists struggle to comprehend today. If these connections between ancient Hindu cosmology and modern physics have expanded your perspective on human knowledge and cosmic reality, please share this video with others who appreciate how science and ancient wisdom might guide us toward understanding our place in an infinite multiverse. Subscribe to Universal Insights to discover more about how traditional knowledge might illuminate the greatest mysteries of existence. Comment below with your thoughts on how ancient understanding of parallel realities and infinite universes might change how we see ourselves and our potential future. The conversation about consciousness, cosmos, and infinite possibilities is just beginning, and your insights matter as we explore these profound connections between past wisdom and future discovery.